Hello everyone. So as I was doing the previous video, I just got disconnected abruptly because of my bad internet connection. So I'm going to continue the session from where we've left in the previous video. So we have seen how the flow actually happens here, and I was about to start it up with a concept wherein instead of taking the values from here or instead of hard coding the values inside the code, how we can take it from the user so that we can have a different scenarios. Okay, so that's what we will see in this right now. So for that we have a particular activity called input dialog. So I'm going to pull the input dialog here. So let me take the input dialog variable, sorry, input dialog activity. So if you just observe, let's look into the properties of input dialog. We have a dialog title. So whenever the dialog box comes, we have a title that comes up over there, and then we have a label and what type of input we have to provide. Is it a text box, that means a single text, or is it a multiple choice? Do we have an option to select multiple um, text? Okay, so these are the two options that we have for the input type, and then whatever the value that we are entered, that will be labeled over here. Okay, so let's see one by one how we can do this. So first of all, as a part of the dialog title, I'm going to give please enter username. Okay, and then the label would be something like username, and then this is a text box, right? So this I'm going to provide it as a text box itself. And if you see here towards the right hand, we have other result. Wherever the result will be showed, this is that value. So as I already have a username variable, I'm going to use the same variable where my text that is provided by the user will be saved into. Okay, and also in case of passwords, we have a separate checkbox. Let me show you that. So this will be for my password. So I will say please enter password, and this label would be password, and this is text. And if you just see here, I'm going to use is password, then it will be hidden. Okay, whatever the value that we are typing, that would be hidden, and I'm going to pass a password value here. So this is the one, right? So this is how I want this to be entered into my fields. So here whatever the username that we've got as an output from that dialog box activity will be entered using type into. And secure text, here we are providing the password, right? So that will be entered here. And going forward, we will have login button, and then we have different flows as it is. So let's check here and see how this actually works. Okay, let's close this, debug. And then it's loading the page. Okay, I think my internet is very bad today. It's taking a longer time. Okay, so if you just see here, it has provided us the dialog box to enter the username, right? So I'm going to enter my username. Okay, and next it provides one more dialog box to enter the password. Okay, so I can see the password here. Say okay, and if you see here, okay, there is one error. So let's understand what is the error. Type converter cannot convert from system.string, right? So if you just observe, we have used a secure type, right? Secure text. So for that, what we have to do, the password variable what we have created is a secure string. So we always have to make sure the variable types are matching. So for this here, what I'm going to do, let's change this variable to, so we have to understand, whenever we see the errors, only then we can understand what's the mistake we've made, right? So from that only we can understand the correct solution. So I'll give password 1. Okay, and then let's try to run this. Close it. Okay, it's taking a little longer. It's loading again. Okay, we have come into the username. Anyways, we are not going to log in, so I'm giving some random username and the password. So the flow has to go in and say that it's a invalid username or password or the error message, right? Because we are not in the login page. So okay, yeah, it's a successful login because we have already come to the home page, correct? So now instead of successful message, we can say like user has already logged in. We can just mention the message over here. So if you just observe, let's try to tweak the workflow a little bit, because if you just observe here, we are not in the this page, right? So now I am going to use the same type into activity over here and replace this with the this selector. Give the same selector which is used for password. Just say it and give the password one. Okay, because here we will be passing the secure text, which is not the one that we are getting it, right? So if we do that, and also I'm going to click on the logout. So now I will be providing the correct password username by using the dialog box, and the user has to log in successfully. And we will also see the incorrect username scenario also. First, let's go with the incorrect scenario and then I will provide the correct one so that we can see the flow exactly. Okay, what I'm going to do is, so let's say if okay, we have the login page here. Let's take the steps one by one and try to debug this. Okay, so say continue and then trying to log in. User here, it has to enter the username, right? So it will be asking me for username. So let me give the wrong details and the password. So it will enter whatever the values it has picked it from me, right? So let's check them as well. Say continue and go here. And see the whatever the credentials that I have given in the dialog box, those has been entered there. And then trying to log in, and it could see user ID or password did not match, and then it will provide us with those values which is invalid username or the password, right? Let's check the output. So invalid username or password. And now through dialog box, let's give the correct values and check the output. So why I'm closing the browser all the time, because so let's say if there are two browsers, so there are chances that it may pick from the background as well. So you have to make sure that you are closing the existing browser whenever you run a new automation, because in that way you will not create a confusion to the robot from which page it has to actually interact with. So this is my username, right? And say okay. give the password, and this will be encrypted. If you want, you can just check it over here and then say okay, and then hit continue. Right, it has entered correctly the values that we've given in the dialog box, and then it has logged in successfully. So let's check if it has logged in successfully by using the correct credentials, and it has shown it in the output or not. So let's check the output. So if you see, it has printed successful login. So this is how we can do multiple things like this. This workflow is to make you understand what are the ways that or what are the activities that we have to take the input from the user, and also how to make you understand the flow, how the flow works and all. And I hope this video is clear for you. So I'll meet you in the next video with a new concept. Do not miss any of the videos. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel.